When cops received a tip-off about a farm, they were appalled by what was hiding in the basement. A man named Chris Westerbeek was working at a cafe in the center of the Dutch village called Runerworld. He was getting ready to close up the bar for the night when a man walked in. Chris says that he'd never seen the man before, but he knew right away something was off. He says that the man appeared to be dazed. He was wearing dated clothing and had a disheveled beard. It was near closing time and the man left. The man returned to the bar on Sunday, October 13th, 2019. Chris says that the man looks just as strange, and he decided to speak to him to find out what was going on. The two men sat on the terrace of Café de Castelline. While they spoke, the man had about 5 beers. The man told Chris that he'd spent the last 10 years confined in a farmhouse outside the village. He also told him that he had a number of other siblings who were isolated from the outside world as well. The man explains that he'd never been to school and he hasn't gone to a barber in over 9 years. The man's story really bothered Chris, especially when the man told him that he had run away and desperately needed help. Chris decided to call the police. Chris called the police and told them the man's story. They decided that it would be a good idea to head to the farmhouse to investigate. When they first arrived, they thought that they were at an abandoned farmhouse. The windows were boarded up and there was no activity in the yard. When they got into the house, the police discovered a staircase hidden behind a cupboard. They went down the stairs and in a hidden room. What they saw next was shocking. When they got down the stairs, the police saw evidence of a family living in the secret room. There were 6 adults between the ages of 18 and 25. There was also a man in the room who was 58 years old. During the initial search, the police weren't sure if the man was their father of the people they found in the room. During the investigation, the police discovered that the people in the secret room had been living in complete isolation on the farm. They said that they'd never been allowed to attend school or participate with the community. This is why one of the neighbors ever saw them, and why many people believed that the farmhouse was vacant. One of the residents told the police that they were in a secret room while they waited for the end of the time to arrive. They believed that a catastrophe doomsday event was coming. One family member claimed that some of the people in the basement might not have known that there was even a world outside the property. The whole thing was unfortunate, and soon it would bring a circus to the small town. The police took the oldest man into custody and tried to learn more from the family members. A day later, they brought in a 67-year-old man for questioning. The people living in the secret room told the police that they were self-sufficient, growing their own vegetables on the land. None of the younger adults were registered and didn't even have birth certificates. Shortly after learning this information, the identity of the older man came to light. He was Gerrit Jan van Dorsten, and he was the father of those living in the house. The other man who was arrested was known as Joseph B., who was a tenant on the farm but no relation. When Gerrit's name was released, family members came forward. They told the police that when Gerrit took his family into hiding, he told his family not to look for him or his children. They also found out that 3 of Gerrit's children managed to escape, and they reached out to other family members. These 3 children managed to live normal lives after escaping from the family. A former neighbor says that one of the girls went to college and worked part-time as a florist. Back in the 80s, Gerrit was part of the Unification movement, which was established in South Korea in 1954. People called it a cult, and they have their own definition of Christianity. Today they're known as Moonies, and it's believed that it was through the religion that Gerrit and Joseph B. met. There are rumors that Gerrit was bedridden when police arrived after suffering a stroke a few years earlier. The mother was unaccounted for, and people believe that she died in the farmhouse and was buried in the yard. The police are still investigating, and they've run DNA tests on all the family members to confirm that Gerrit is their father. The children found in the farmhouse have been taken to a safe house to allow them to heal privately, and so the police have access to them to continue questioning. Many people are calling the farmhouse the House of Horrors.